Yeah, talk about making a bad first impression. I mean, look at this shit. And yes, this is the official promotional pick and first look at DC's new Superman for the ages. Good. Anyone else sick of constantly seeing grimdark, moody emo blokes in our media these days, where all our male heroes seem to present as tired and dejected broken shells of their former selves? You know, when Gunn announced his Superman would be a bit more fun than previous depictions, I for one was hoping that his incarnation would be more in the vein of Tyler Hoechlin's version, rather than Henry Cavill's red-eyed neck-snapping psycho murderer killer, or at least just bringing back a little fun and positivity to the franchise. And though I hoped they'd lean more into the Superman and Lois type of tone, I didn't really expect them to go full CW, complete with cheap sets and ill-fitting suits what looked no better than high-end cosplay and made on a bloody budget of 1.5 ham sandwiches. I mean, why is this bunching up around the shoulders, and with a worse collar than a college kid on his induction day? Why didn't they go with the form-fitting style and design that works so perfectly well with the neck snapper? Why does it already look aged and dusty, and like he's just dug it out of the back of the closet? Especially when this version is supposed to be early on in his career. And that's just a costume. Look at the guy's face, for fuck's sake. He looks more miserable than my Auntie Jeannie after suffering a piles flare-up. You're Superman, for Pete's sake, aka the most powerful being in the galaxy. So why does he have the air of a drunk Christopher Reeve in the bar in Superman 3 about him? And why does he look totally apathetic about some sort of cosmic space jellyfish causing havoc in the city behind him? I mean, I know that's probably just a standard Tuesday night in Metropolis, but come on, man. Invoke a sense of urgency and determination already. Geezer looks like his mum's just woke him up on a Monday morning and he's already 10 minutes late for school. And also like he's one peanut flick away from beating himself up in a small junkyard.
You always wanted to fly, Kent. Now's your chance.
Is this really what we've got to look forward to with James Gunn's super cool and fresh DC reboot? It's possible the movie itself will indeed be a Guardian-style, high-spirited, colourful 2-hour romp. But surely the first release promo image should capture the mood and tone as you mean to go on. And I don't know about you, but I can't really feel the eagerness or the thrill of just being Superman here. And instead he just feels lethargic, totally disinterested, and mildly constipated for some reason. I mean, imagine if we got something like this. And yeah, it's still a little dark and moody for my liking, but at least he projects strength and masculinity here, with a better depiction of the stoic and contemplative atmosphere, which is what I assume Gunn was going for with this original pick. And don't it do it wonders, just having a suit that actually seems to fit, and with a proper glossy fabric that doesn't just give CW level cosplay vibes. But even if they just cleaned it up a bit and removed the nonsense going on in the background, it still would have helped convey a much better and more promising impression than what they eventually ended up with. I mean, look at what some guy just did on his mobile. The subtle change to his eyebrows alone does wonders for the overall tone, let alone a brighter colour palette for the better fitting costume. And removing the background events allows us to focus on the primary subject of the image, which after all is our first introduction to the new Superman going forward. It also removes the need for, and unavoidably jarring, lack of urgency as expressed by the original. This is the bright and hopeful Superman that we want in a real world currently full of hate, division and relentless cultural Marxism. Comic books and fantasy lands were created as a way to escape from the troubles of the real world, and that's all fans are really craving these days. A return to the traditional. And though you don't have to keep the trunks, ensuring Superman is still a strong and stable straight white man with loving parents and good American morals would go real far in remoralising the fan base, who have been unfairly subjected to the constant dismantling and subverting of established heroes and iconic characters in their pop culture and gaming media, where women are now not ever allowed to be attractive or feminine, and men mustn't be masculine or show any kind of toxic behaviours, like saving damsels in distress lest they be labelled naughty patronising misogynists, or being called out as white saviours if they happen to rescue a brother.
Damn!
Ultimately, I just find it hilarious how some guy in his lunch break can whip up a superior image to that of a multi-million-dollar marketing machine just by applying some filters and upping the brightness levels, and with no less tools than you can probably find on a free account on Canva.com. Which of course then begs the question, instead of just taking a monumental amount of L's like this, why don't these gormless out-of-touch corp execs just hire fans for this stuff? Or at least just use online forums for consultations? I mean, theoretically, we're the ones who are ultimately going to pay for tickets to see this thing. So why don't they just ask us what we want to see and then produce it, knowing that they will then have a guaranteed happy fan base. Well, theoretically at least. I know in a few years that AI will totally be able to do all this in a jiffy, but right now, it's the fans who know the correct prompts to input to produce what we want to see. So maybe it's an idea to just include them a bit more in the production process. Then the studios won't get reactions like this and wonder why they can't do anything right these days. No, instead, it looks like we're just going to get a doubling down on the supposedly trendy and moody aesthetic that was cool in the 2000s and 10s, but it's already outdated, monotonous and cringe. I mean, if you're just going to go back to all that, then why did you get rid of fan favourite Henry Cavill in the first place? You already burned fan goodwill by announcing he was fired unceremoniously in favour of a fresh reboot. But now it seems that you're just doing the same exact Snyderverse tone, but just without the actor that everyone loves and is desperate to see more of, and preferably in a film that's made by a competent director for a change.
Fuck you!
Man, I really don't know what they were thinking with this one. Is this really the level of excitement and anticipation that Gunn & Co want to convey for this reboot? And did no one else really question if they could possibly do any better than this before clicking publish? I don't know. At the end of the day, if Superman can't muster enough enthusiasm to even get off his ass to go save the world, then why should I get off mine to go to the cinema when this releases?